Hello and welcome back to the 12th Man, episode 5 here. I've got a special guest, Stiofan Doherty here. Big Arsenal fan. He's on the preview the Northampton Derby. It's on Sunday. Obviously Spurs Arsenal, a big game at the weekend. I can't wait. Really looking forward to the show. We're also going to be looking back at Man United's defeat against PSG and to see where Ollie could have done much better with the result of the game. We're going to be looking at Chelsea, unbeaten now in 15. We're going to be chatting about Oliver Giroud as well. He obviously played for Arsenal. So that's going to be interesting. See what Stephen thinks on that. And we're going to be looking ahead to the rest of the Premier League games. So only one place to start for me, and that is with a big game on Sunday, the Northampton Derby. In my opinion, the most exciting game in the Premier League every season. I know people probably disagree, but for me, it's always a game I look forward to. So Stephen, I just want to get your thoughts on the Northampton Derby on Sunday, and are you really looking forward to this one, and are you confident?
Are you confident? No, I'm looking forward to it. Yes. The first one you look at in the fixture list. You look at the home. You look at the home one first. But can you hear me?
Home one, I always think that's the one you have to win, don't you? And then the away one's the one you obviously look forward to going there, but you think if you get a draw, it's not too bad. But
what was the last time you won the Emirates?
I was looking at the results today. We haven't won the Emirates since 2011-12 season, and you haven't won at White Hart Lane in the league since 2013-14. But I was actually at a game where we actually lost at home to use in the cup, beat 2-1. I think Matthew Flamini scored his only 2 Arsenal goals against Spurs. And he picked one of there. I was actually at the game in the stadium. Couldn't believe it. But Spurs actually battered these that day. But yeah, under Pochettino in the league, we never lost these at home. So you had to go back to Tom Sherwood, and I don't even want to remember Tom Sherwood's reign at Spurs because it was
nearly. That's when Adebayor was there, wasn't it? And Andre Villas-Boas, mind him.
It was just a really dark.
You've had your fair share of managers, hey?
I know. Well, how many managers? I'd be interested. How many managers?
How many managers we've had? No.
I think it's on like
in our lifetime. Like how many? I'll not count Freddie Ljungberg like because he was intern. But so we've had 3 How many managers have we had? Do you know?
Going back, when I really started watching Spurs, you're going back. They probably Martin Yol when I was really into it. Martin Yol, and you had Juan de Ramos, you had Harry Redknapp, you had AVB, you had Tom Sherwood, and then Pochettino. If you go back further than that, you had Santini, you had Glenn Hoddle. It's going back when Wenger was there. You had I think Jerry Francis. You had.
Don't know who that is.
No, you're going back. This is how bad it is. You're going back. How many managers did Wenger see off? Like, this is a thing. Here, first thing I want to say is, obviously, Spurs, as you know, are going into this game top of the league, and Arsenal's sitting in the bottom half of the table. Yeah, but as I say, people say to me, you must be really confident going into this game. Arsenal struggling, Spurs flying. But as I said, this game form goes out the window. I remember going to Arsenal or playing at home to Arsenal, where you were top of the league and coming into this game. And we were sitting.
You'd always give us a game.
And always give you a game. Like, there was very rarely times where a team just get hammered. They're always tight games. So what do you think? What do you think coming on this weekend? I know you're not confident, but do you still think that you can get a result?
Obviously, we're playing Spurs. We're not playing Barcelona 2010. Actually, what? Look, let's look compared to City and United. City have been dominating the last 3-4 years, but United always seem to give them a result. I think United beat them 3 times last year. It's crazy. The same way Everton and Liverpool. Everton gave Liverpool a decent game, and they are miles apart. So, of course, I'm not confident, but we can definitely get a result. But what's that I'm worried about? It's not about our Spurs record of 2014. We haven't won. It's Jose Mourinho's record. We've never beat Jose Mourinho at home in 10 games. That's what I'm worried about.
And you know what? Mourinho always seemed to have one over Wenger, didn't they? He always seemed to have him.
He doesn't have one over Wenger. He had one over Arsenal.
You want to think as well, sometimes as well, managers can get in the other managers' heads, and I always think that Wenger probably, obviously he would have rated himself as a manager, but when it came up against Mourinho, sometimes he might have felt inferior because he had this bad record, and before press conferences it would always be brought up, and it sort of gets under your head. And I always think he done that game under so much pressure, and he put himself under that pressure. So I think when it comes to Mourinho, he's the master of these situations, and he can play mind games. Like, I don't know if you've seen this week, he's been saying about Harry Kane being injured. We all know Harry Kane's going to play. There's not a chance he's not going to play. So
50% Harry Kane would play that game.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So he's going to be playing. He's already starting the mind games. probably senses weakness in Arteta because he is a young manager. But getting on to Arteta, I want to hear your thoughts on him.
I like him. I do. I want to give him time. I don't want to be chopping, changing managers like you did when we had Wenger in charge. Like, Arteta's young. It's his first managerial job. People's calling him the Spanish Sean Dyche.
I don't know, because on the team tech audio. Do you know what sometimes the big thing is with Spurs and Arsenal as well? I think sometimes both clubs look at each other too much in terms of Spurs wanted to be Arsenal for so long, and like they wanted to be challenging, and they always chopping and changing managers and worrying about what Arsenal was doing. I think Henry spoke about it. You were always worrying about what we did. We used to go into our front derby game thinking, you know, we were confident, but we never used to. We always expected a tough game, but we always knew you were going to be thinking about what we were going to do instead of thinking what you should do yourselves. Because they had good players. Like, I know they never really won much over the years, Spurs, but they always had good players, and they could do damage on certain days. You go back to Ginola, Sheringham, Robbie Keane, Berbatov, these players. You even go back to recent times, Gareth Bale, Defoe,
Harry Kane.
No, you look at, they've always had good Modric. They've always had good players. Just probably at the wrong times they couldn't get the right players. But Arsenal always, Henry, as they said, led the king. He's worried about us too much, and now sometimes I think, we're Arsenal, we're always sort of thinking about, we want to be challenging for leagues. Now it's just about getting into the top four, finishing up Spurs. For years, Spurs were thinking we need to finish above Arsenal. And now I almost think it's the Arsenal. They're trying to finish above Spurs, when really they should be looking at our targets, you know what I mean?
Nah.
It's funny because there's so much rivalry between the two teams.
We hate each other. You hate us because we took over North London and are more successful.
I know.
It's the same reason United fans hate City.
So I want to get so we're two managers here, right? Who've been there almost a similar amount of time. Mourinho came in last November, and Arteta last December, so more or less a year now into their jobs. What do you think on Mikel Arteta's years of whole since he's been there now? He's been there nearly a year. What almost after I know it's because it came on during a mid-season, but almost after a year, you can see how things are going. How do you think it's went so far?
Oh, can you cut that question in half and say last season was kind of good because we won a trophy, but the league we still didn't. In terms of the league form, hasn't been great. Like, let me see. I can't even remember where we were in the league when
but what I was saying was, you were saying in terms of league form, it's been good, but cup. What I would say as well in terms of cup runs was right, and I can sort of get I don't have won trophies, but I've sort of go back to cup runs. I can relate to this, but Spurs got the Champions League final. Played poorly against Man City, poorly against Ajax, and then got to the final. And that's the Champions League, so that's one of the hardest cup competitions they won. Arsenal last year, if you look at their league form, I'm going to actually bring it up later in the show. I'm going to have something for you to read. But it wasn't that good last year as well at times. But the cup run sort of papered over a lot of the cracks. And they produced a great performance against Man City, great performance against Chelsea, and won the cup. And from a Spurs fan's perspective, right, it was the first time in 5 or 6 seasons that I thought Arsenal could be on their way back. Because when he's won the cups under Wenger, it was different because you could see it was coming in anyway, Wenger, and even the cup, it was almost it was a blessing he's won the cups because it was keeping them on there longer, because you knew he's getting further and further away in the league. But when he's won them cups last year, it was the first time I thought, this could be, we've missed out. They've won cups and they've been in their worst period. We've had our best period in years and we've won nothing. So it was almost like a hammer blow to us. But I have been slightly surprised at how this season's gone. He's lost 5 here, first 10 games. So what's gone wrong for you in these? If you think about the league form, even since you come on, it's not been that good.
He does know his best 11. Go back to last year when we didn't have the players. He was playing the 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever way you want to put it. But bringing on Partey, we all thought, Arsenal fans, we all thought we'd see Ozil again. And he gets slated by other fans all the time, how lazy and not, but he still assists. And if you're telling me Joe Willock's a better player than Mesut Ozil, I'm sorry.
You know what? I am shocked that he wasn't included in the squad. I can understand
exactly.
Not been in the squad at all.
But you see, there's something not right about it, because Socrates was left out as well. and so was William Saliba. I haven't really. I think he played against MK Dons in a friendly. I don't watch French league. I don't watch Saint Etienne, but Arsenal fans were bragging and boasting he's the next big thing.
The Saliba one was quite interesting because he was rated as one of the highest rated centre back in Europe for his age. You look at his partner Fofana, he's at Leicester now, he's doing really well, and he's actually younger than Saliba. And you think about Saliba's build, Fofana's quite slim. Saliba's strong, powerful. Now I know he had I think his mum died there in the last year. I don't know if that's impacted things. But you look at Arsenal's problem. Gabriel's a really good defender, but they've struggled to find somebody to play with him. He's chopped and changed a lot since he come on. He's had Daniel Louise there. He's had Mustafi there. Pablo Mari there now as well. He's had difficulties in trying to get someone to play with him. So that's why I felt leaving him out was quite strange. But then I think as well this can happen. See when a new manager comes on sometimes, and Saliba was signed by the previous manager, same way Pepe was. Them two, Pepe as well, doesn't seem to be getting a fair crack at the whip. He seems to be in one game, out the next game. Doesn't matter what he does in Europa League. And you think about
ahead of people.
And you think about Arsenal not creating a lot of chances. He is a player that can do it. I know he is inconsistent, but he is a type of player that can sort of open a game for us. He's not been playing either. Do you think it is maybe Arteta trying to stamp his authority on the situation? Like, they aren't my players. I want better players. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think so. And a perfect example is Guendouzi. Guendouzi was so exciting for like he was in the Unai Emery's first season. He was brilliant, so good. I mean, we went the Chelsea Arsenal game down to Aviva. It was a friendly but Guendouzi, unbelievable in that middle of the park. Another player that day was Cam Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea. He was just in the team with Sarri, and holy crap, what a player! But
he's gonna get a look on now.
I'm
gonna get a look on now. Or Guendouzi's away unknown.
Guendouzi's away here for Berlin, and it's all down to that thing he'd done at
Brighton.
But then Willian breaking coronavirus rules off. I don't know what he done. He went to a wedding or some shit like that.
Because they made it just look like he reacted to a player. He was angry at the loss and sort of something that you sort of want from a player. But
it's what he said. He says, "I earn more money than you." You're not at Arsenal. They earn. You know what I mean?
Tierney do something against Leeds there too, and he's seen Xhaka standing beside the boy. Xhaka, and he's meant to be one of the leaders in the dressing room. He was the captain. Arsenal since Arteta's come on as well. And you think Tierney, he was raging at Pepe. He has a red card, but your man got him sent off to play. He overreacted, and Tierney was obviously raging, and Xhaka was having a giggle with him after the game. And I think Roy Keane was saying about it after the Wolves game at the weekend. Said he thinks the Arsenal are soft. So do you think that Arteta is trying to maybe change that softness and maybe trying to make them a bit more disciplined and a bit more, maybe that's why he punished Guendouzi and sent him away. But then it's strange because then he just let Willian away with going to Dubai. So I just don't know.
I think Arteta's making them soft. Do you think it's our way about? I think Arteta was never an aggressive player. Arteta was always a nice wee, and he was our captain. And I mind one of the things he said when he was captain at Arsenal was he hated going to Anfield. The crowd got them too much. You're like, what? Just keep that to yourself, man.
When you cast your mind back a year, right, when the managerial positions with Spurs obviously became available before Arsenal. We haven't really talked about Unai Emery, but what's your thoughts on him anyway? We haven't really
Emery.
How do you think his reign went? Do you think he was unlucky or was there he could have done better?
He came on and we played City, the champions, at home, and we lost 2-0. We then went to Stamford Bridge and we were 2-0 down, brought back to 2-2, and then they scored in the 82nd minute, I think it was, beat us 3-2. We then went on a 25 or something game, unbeaten, and we Arsenal fans were saying we got our Arsenal back and all that crack. But when it came down to the end of the season, and he focused more on the Europa League, and that's purely because he's won it 3 times. He's a Europa League fucking specialist. But we could have got top 4. Do you know what I mean? We 2 home games against Palace and Brighton. I
thought he's decent that season. I think he's done all right. He's got the league final. He's for a point behind Spurs in the league, and he's had so many chances to finish top 4. I think in the end that's what probably did it for him. He made massive mistakes towards the end of that season, and then it never really repaired in the last season, start of the season. It just didn't.
I think he lost his job purely because of Arsenal fans. He actually came out himself and said, "I lost my job because of Arsenal fans." Yeah. The football that he was playing was terrible. Watford having 36 shots.
Saying that about football, right? what I want to ask you is, under Arteta, has that football got any better? Has the style of play got any better? Has it been, what kind of style of play? What is Arteta's identity?
Arteta came on and talks about this. It's a process. It's not going to change overnight. We all know that. Like, it just doesn't happen. Look at Klopp. He came on halfway through the season, but he came fourth, I think.
I think he came on.
He lost. I think he lost
that season, and they finished outside the top four. I think they might have finished around 7th. I'm not 8th. I'm not sure, but I know.
But that was Brendan Rodgers'
in his first
full
season. In his first full season, he finished 4th.
Exactly. Wow. But I think everyone was giving Liverpool fans grief. I think it's because they lost in the League Cup final and they lost in the Europa League final, didn't they? But he still got top.
Ironically, who did he lose to in the final? He was manager of Sevilla.
Unai Emery.
But I see all these fans comparing people, managers, and all this here. So does that mean Unai Emery's better than Klopp, because he beat him in a final? Crazy comparing all these managers after one game.
It's the same. Who do you think's better between Klopp and Pep?
That's another day.
Has to be Pep.
I like Pep, but Klopp.
Because of Pep's walked Dundee how many teams? Look what Klopp done with the Dortmund team, and then look what he done with the Liverpool team. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It is hard to compare managers for me.
And then Pep signed he spent like 450 million or something on centre backs. Or
I think the challenge comes for Pep now this season. How does he fix it, Man City? But anyway, getting back to this, we were chatting about there. We were saying about Unai Emery, and I was saying about clash your mind a year back. Unai Emery gets sacked. Just before that, Pochettino gets sacked by Spurs. Probably a lot more surprised than the Emery one.
I was surprised.
Pochettino's connection with Spurs, but apparently before the Unai Emery sacking, Arsenal were thinking about replacing him anyway. And they just, the way sometimes they suss out managers and stuff. It happens because Pochettino gets sacked on the Tuesday and Mourinho was on the Wednesday morning, so it was obviously done. Obviously they were sussing out managers. Apparently Mourinho was actually interviewed for the Arsenal job, and he turned it down based on he didn't believe in the board at Arsenal. Do you think he didn't believe in the board? He didn't really. Mourinho.
Mourinho applied for the Arsenal job.
No, he was interviewed for the Arsenal job back in that year. Apparently so. I
don't believe that. No way.
We see some people don't believe it.
No chance.
See if it happened. Apparently one of the reasons he didn't take the job, or he said no to it, he walked away, was he didn't believe in the Arsenal's board. He thought it was We'll say it is, right? But you look at it, right? I'm just thinking with this, hypothetically, right? Ancelotti was also available. He went to Everton on the same week.
And
then Arsenal.
Our first game was against Everton too.
Arsenal end up.
Our first game was against Everton. Freddie Ljungberg was still in our dugout, and Duncan Ferguson was still in theirs, and Ancelotti were up in the stands.
Their first games was Boxing Day then, right? So if you look at it, right, Ancelotti was available. Mourinho was available a month before, and Arsenal get Arteta, right? And Arteta, for me, looks like a good coach, but this is a massive job at Arsenal. You're talking about. You look outside of Man United, and Liverpool. Arsenal's the biggest team in England, right? So they're the third biggest team in England, in my opinion. And that's me being. I can't sit here and say these aren't. For me, these are. So for Arteta to walk onto a job like that, and you see Mourinho and they are jobs, and these are proven managers that won trophies, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues. It sort of did raise alarm bells to me, because don't get me wrong, Arteta could be a masterstroke, but it just felt like the wrong time for me. And so Arteta going there, it was quite a strange one. So what was the thinking behind it, do you think?
He was available. Mourinho. I don't think any Arsenal fan wanted to see Mourinho in an Arsenal dugout. I think even Spurs fans were surprised when he was in your dugout. It was weird. Like, it was even weird seeing Mourinho in the United dugout.
Well, you had Ancelotti as well. What about Ancelotti?
Nah.
Chelsea. See, then I look at it, right, and then you think, right, maybe not them two. You think about our managers, like Rafa Benitez was available, and he's been at Chelsea.
You see that not many people talk about Rafa. I would have took Rafa. I would have took Rafa, Allegri, because Allegri's a good defensive coach, and our defensive problems is ridiculous.
Well, here's another one for you. Apparently, Allegri was interviewed before Emery for the job after Wenger. He turned it down. Apparently, he didn't fancy working under the board. So it does. And bringing in Arteta as well, I do think there's an element of bringing them in. They can control Arteta, because he probably feels lucky to get the job. Apparently, Allegri wanted money. that Arsenal wouldn't provide. He wanted because they wanted to make changes to the team. And I almost think it's almost like a puppet. Whereas they can maybe, you look at Partey, great signing, Gabriel, great signing, but Arsenal needed a lot more than them two players. So you think maybe they're.
You see, we needed a creative midfielder, and everyone's talking about I don't know how to pronounce his name. Husam Awar, I think he's called from.
Awar, yeah, and
I've seen
Dominic Shablowsley, is it?
Yeah, I don't know who the hell he is, and I've seen Awar play. I seen Awar play one game, and it was against City in the Champions League. He had a good game, but Arsenal fans say, "Oh, we need him on. We need him on." It's like, do you really watch League One? Do you know what I mean?
He's another creative midfielder in the squad. Well, he's not in the squad, but he's there. And he's
exactly one of the best. A World Cup winner and most assists in the Premier League. Thanks since he came on.
So what? Getting back to this point, this is where I think Arteta made his mistake, right? I think, and an experienced manager as well, and this is where it comes on to it. I think Mourinho doesn't make this mistake. I think Mourinho either gets Awar, he gets this Shablowsley, he gets somebody, he gets Isco, Coutinho, anybody. But if he doesn't get him, it brings Ozil back into the team, and he finds a way to make it right. Now, some of the rumours are, before we get into the rumours, Arteta said it's football and reasons he isn't on the squad. Now, some of the rumours are that it's not football and reasons, that Arteta's been told not to put him on. And this is my point, where a strong manager doesn't allow this to happen. And this is where I think it's been controlled. You probably know more about it, but there's rumours about racism, and then there's wage cuts.
Was
the lockdown, because he was playing for Arteta before the lockdown, and he didn't play after.
He tweeted or put something about the Muslim concentration camps in China, and since then he hasn't been in the squad. I think he's been on one match day squad on his way to Southampton, and he didn't come on. Yeah. And obviously Arsenal have a massive market in China.
Yeah,
so they've axed him out. I'm not saying it's what he's saying is wrong. I'm just I think that's why it is, because Socrates and Saliba, as we mentioned, aren't in the squad, but they're playing under 23s. Ozil's not playing any football at all.
He's running live streams on his Twitter during a game. He's almost
he's what?
He's running live streams on Twitter. He's commenting on the games on Twitter. Ozil, have you not seen it? No.
I don't have Twitter.
He's been doing these comments on Twitter during the game, but I saw that about sour from him. But I think the big issue here is, and one of the other things I must say as well, this could be another reason as well, we haven't looked at it, so I want to be balanced as well, that he is on $350 a week, but they reckon that he's not on that much if he's not playing. So if he's not in the matchday squad, he loses appearance fees, goal fees, everything like that. So it's almost that, but I doubt it as that. But it could be that, but I don't think it is. I think it is something to do with China thing.
Maybe it might be a small percentage, but the reason he got 350,000 was not because of his ability and when he brought the Arsenal. He got 350,000 because we lost Sanchez in the window. That's why he's on 350,000.
So we're talking about that situation, right? Do you think there's another situation here now with Aubameyang? He's been given a big contract. Do you think maybe there's a risk of the same thing happening here?
No, I don't, because it's not like he's been getting chances and he's been missing them. He hasn't been getting chances. I think he's had 5 shots in 5 games.
He's had 13 shots in 10 games this season in the Premier League.
You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
So I just want to show you this. I'm going to share the screen here so you can see this, so everyone else can see it as well. This is against Aston Villa, right? This is the first goal Aston Villa scored. You see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Arsenal have 11 players behind the ball, right?
Yeah.
So you talk about style of play, right? For me, there's defensive and there's. I mean, how can Aubameyang score goals if he's trying to block that shot? I think that's him trying to block that shot, Berkeley. That's there.
No, is that not him? There's Lacazette in the D and he's behind Lacazette.
Well, there's not. So there he is. He's in the edge of his own penalty area.
Right.
So for me, right, you can talk about counter-attacking and stuff like that. But for me, there, he's never going to be able to score a goal playing that deep.
No.
So you talk about shapes and defensively, but in transition there, Arsenal have 11 men behind the ball. So. And that's against Aston Villa.
How many Aston Villa players are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 on the ball.
6. So just going to pop that share on. So looking at that, do you think there's a lot of work to be done with Arteta? Do you think he needs to maybe let the handbrake off a bit? Because
I think he is a bit naive. He's our main problem was our defence, and he's just tried to fix it. What I think Arteta's done most.
Do you think he's too focused on the defensive part of it now?
Aye, and how many goals have we scored? I think we're -2 for the season. But
Arteta's is when you're on that defensive mode, it's not easy to get the attacking thing back because players have lost confidence. You can't just say, right, we're going to turn around this week.
I don't know if it's to do with the fans or the opponent, but last night, Rapid Vienna, I mean, I don't know where they are in their league. I'm not saying they're good, but our starting 11 wasn't great. It was the best performance from us this season, the football we were playing.
I didn't see it last night, but I heard it was very, very good.
Well, it was good, but it's Rapid Vienna. We're already qualified, but it wasn't our main players. Aubameyang's featured, I think, for 45 minutes in Europa League. Yeah. And I know we've got five games out of 5-1, but would you not have him on there? You know, for one or two of the games?
Even for 45, I know what you mean now.
Exactly. Do you know? Because he was on a few of the squads, but never came on because we're winning the game comfortably. But
because he's only hit 13 shots in 10 games, it's very hard to score goals, as I was saying. But for me, I think it's transferred now. His work rate's not the same. He looks unhappy because of the style of play, and I think for Arsenal, you look at over the last couple of years, Aubameyang's carried Arsenal at times. I mean, he has there's no doubt about it. He scored big goals.
He's like United's Bruno Fernandes.
Big time. So, he's important. You talk about Spurs, Harry Kane as well. So you talk about someone like Aubameyang. If you can't get the best out of Aubameyang, you have to change the system, surely, don't you? Because even when they're being defensive now, it's going or losing games 2-1, 1-0, or you know what I mean.
But when he was getting those 20+ goals a season for us, he was on the left, and now that he's not scoring, he's playing through the middle, and he's still not getting chances. He's still not getting opportunities. Like I don't know.
I'm going to share the screen again if you're here now. I'm going to show you this picture. This is Spurs against Chelsea last week. This is what you're going to be up against Sunday, possibly. Like this, I've looked at this quite a lot. Spurs are almost playing me 6 at the back, right? So they've got the 2 centre halves on Sunday was Joe Rodon from Swansea. They just signed him. Alderweireld was injured, and I think Alderweireld could be back on Sunday, so I imagine he may come back in. Dyer's playing centre half as well. Then you've got Aurier right back and Reguilon left back. But Sissoko and Højbjerg are almost playing like auxiliary centre halves. They're dropping in between the right back and centre back and the left back and left centre back. So it almost makes them a 6. But if you look at where Son is and you look at where Kane is, they're a lot higher on the pitch. Hence why maybe they've been scoring a lot more goals. Almost Mourinho's sacrificing these midfielders. The attackers, they be a lot more freed. Now, if you look at, I think Gary Neville did it on Monday night on Monday Night Football. He brought up a Liverpool and Man United game when Mourinho was in charge. Rashford and he was the hour winner. I think it might have been Martial and Ibrahim. They were playing almost like fullbacks, almost like two fullbacks on each side of the pitch. And his midfielders were slightly higher, but he's altered that now at Spurs. He's gone with almost these two midfielders becoming defenders, and it maybe frees up the boys up front. They'd be a bit further up the pitch, so they've a lot more pace. And if the ball comes to them, maybe they've got a bit more quality to deliver. And if you look at some of the goals Spurs have scored this season, it has been counter-attacks. But do you think they did that's on Arteta needs to look at? Obviously not copy the style, but maybe push Aubameyang and Wally and Pepe or whoever's playing up there further up front, like I said.
I remember
when they're so deep, it's very difficult for them to spring on a counter-attack because they're so deep.
I remember when Mourinho was just working for Sky doing this punditry, and he was asked, I don't know if Mourinho was sacked at this stage, and it was Lundberg, I can't remember, but Arteta wasn't there, and he was talking about how he would set up the Arsenal team, and he talked about the 4-3-3 false 9, the way Liverpool set up with Lacazette in the Firmino role.
This is almost playing like a false 9 as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's almost like Kane. He's just done that with Kane playing in that false 9 with Kane. Who would have put Kane in a false 9?
No.
We would put Lacazette in a false 9 because he hasn't been scoring. I don't rate Lacazette. I don't think he's a good player. He's all right, but I wish we got rid of him and kept Giroud.
To be honest, I don't think Lacazette or Arteta fancies him anymore. He's dropped him the last few games.
No, he played all right. He played in that false 9 last night, and he had a good game again. It was Rapid Vienna, like.
It's going to be interesting to see. So if you look at both styles, right, on Sunday, like you look at the game on Sunday now, how's the game going to go? How do you think it's going to be? Do you
want my lineup for the
mixing it around? But no, on lineups. But in terms of how both managers are going to go about it, what do you think Arteta's going to do?
5 at the back. Try to get easy on the counter. I think he's will dominate possession, and
this is the thing. This is the thing I look at, right? If you look at both teams, I don't think both teams have the players they dominate possession. I don't think it suits them. Like Spurs midfield doesn't suit. They have loads of ball and try and break teams down. I don't think they haven't got that player. They haven't really got a creative midfielder. Celso maybe, but he isn't starting. He's playing behind Dembele. And he's more and Dembele can't maybe do something, but not the type of pass maybe an Ozil or an Ericsson would make. So I think things have changed a lot over the last couple of years. I think it almost suits Spurs as well for they let Arsenal have the ball. So it'll be interesting to see what way both teams go about it.
I think we'll see it in the enough Carbon Cup if the starting line up against United, but Partey won't be there. But United played a narrow diamond that match. I don't know why. I don't know why they played a narrow diamond against us. Honestly, I don't know why. You will not play a narrow diamond. You will have what?
What in the first 45, the first half, first 45 minutes, he's completely dominated that game. He's very, very.
People saying we United were poor. I thought the first 45 minutes we were unlucky not to be 1-0 up already.
The longer the game went on.
Second half was an halfway second half, so it was
per game, and only for the penalty. It was you know what I mean? And
I would have stayed 0-0 if we didn't get a penalty.
On Sunday, what I think it's going to come down to is maybe the odd one or two. I think it's going to be a really. We were talking about entertaining games. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think now it's this.
I think it will. My prediction will be a 1-1.
And do you know one thing too? I think this as well. Maybe Mourinho's been kind of defensive. He can maybe not say it wrong, but with Arteta, I think he doesn't trust these players, and that's why he's being so defensive. He sort of thinks, we have to keep these games.
It's obvious he doesn't trust them. I don't think anyone wants to see David Luiz in a back four.
No, that's the thing.
No, and I don't think Spurs fans want to see Matt Doherty in a back four. Because I've watched Matt Doherty with Ireland in a back four, and he's.
I've been surprised at Doherty. He hasn't really. He's lost his place to Ayer now, and that's Ayer last year for me wasn't getting anywhere. I wouldn't even have had him on our team, and now he's one of the first. Done really, really well this season.
But he played last night, lost the ball. And, who he's playing? Lask went on.
It was per game.
But here's another. Joe Hart. Joe Hart's playing for East.
Well, see, I've seen. Well, this is concerning me now because I've seen the predicted lineups today, and now I'm here.
Maurice has corona.
Well, no, I don't. He hasn't got COVID. I don't think he's got coronavirus. No, I think he's just ill. Renew.
I seen that I got coronavirus, and it was all wish he has speedy recovery, and then everyone was going fucking bring on Joe Hart.
I see, it's the thing because apparently last week he was sick before the Chelsea game, and it wasn't COVID related. So I think he's just. He played against Chelsea, but he had nothing to do. It was a really Chelsea did have a lot of the ball.
Was it I didn't watch it. Was it a bad game?
Roy Keane said it. It was fascinating tactically for him because he loves defensive and stuff. But in terms of chances, there was very few of them. I'm going to get on that in a wee minute. But with Lloris now, it's looking like he might not play. And to be honest, Joe Hart scares the life out of me because he was in fault for 2 of the goals last night against this crowd from Austria.
I've seen them either pretty poorly.
That's a big one. The only thing gives me confidence is Partey's probably not going to be fit. We're chatting about him. I can't see him risking him because he could.
I wouldn't. Even if there is a chance of him playing, I don't want to risk him. I think it'll be on Nene and Xhaka in the middle of the park.
And Xhaka, he's useless to be honest.
You know, right? Xhaka, no. Xhaka's actually been pretty decent since Arteta's came on. I'm not going to lie. He's completely changed his Arsenal career around. Like
before we get on, they sort of previewing the game. We've talked a lot about the team managers, but who do you think's done a better job so far then?
Arteta has won a trophy.
When I say black and white, Arteta has won a trophy. So I can't really argue that because he has.
We're both in the Europa League.
I can't really argue that, but I'm going to show you something here, right? I think he spoke about before league form. If you look at this is since Arteta's first game on Boxing Day. Fox Sport put this up on Monday or Tuesday. It was after the Wolves game. Arsenal are sitting 8th after his 30 Premier League games, and they've scored 42 goals, conceded 33. So they've only got nine goals plus. They're sitting level with Everton there on 46 points. They've got teams like Wolves and Southampton in front of them, and they're 8 points behind Spurs and 4th there since that Boxing Day game. And if you look at that as well, 8 points doesn't seem a lot, but Spurs had Harry Kane and Son missing as well between that January and before the lockdown. So they're basically on their bare bones. I don't think Spurs pick up a lot of points at all between the new year and that lockdown. They only might have won 2 games, I think. They had a lot of defeats and a lot of questions with Mourinho as well. But at the time, he didn't have a lot of players that he's used. I think he was playing Dele Alli as a false nine at the time, and he can't get anywhere near the team they wanted. So if you look at that, there's a big question mark every league for him. So in terms of Who do you think is now in a better position to kick on the season and have a better season? Who would you say? Who would you say that is?
Clear as day, fucking Mourinho. Like.
Spurs.
You set me up. You set me up. Clear as day. I mean,
no, I've just saw that I came across this week, and I want to look at.
But what you know what's interesting about that?
What's that?
That league table. You know what's interesting about that? United are third. And how much slack does Ole get?
13 points. 13 points ahead of Arsenal since Arteta come on, and they've actually played a game less. It says there as well. They've only played 29 games. So again, it shows you how well Ollie's done in 2020 league form.
He's just on that spotlight because of the being United manager. Like everyone wants to see United manager fail. Like.
Do you think Spurs are probably in a better position this year? Why do you think that is? Why do you think Spurs are in a better position now than they were? If you look at the two managers come in, both teams are struggling. Why do you think Spurs is in a better position now than Arsenal are to challenge this year? Not challenge the league, but even have a better season. So maybe won a cup and finish top 4 or something like that.
Who have you played this season? We've played Liverpool away and City away.
We're going to get Liverpool to play.
United away. You slapped up United like.
Leicester. We played 3 teams in the top 6. The notorious top 6. We beat United away 6-1. We beat City 2-0, and we drew away at Chelsea. We've got Hughes now on Sunday, and we've got Liverpool away in Wednesday week. It's a midweek fixture. You've got games next weekend, and there's at Anfield. So that'll be interesting. But if there was ever a time to play Liverpool, it's probably now. So maybe that's going to be the time to play.
You have dropped points against
Leicester as well. We've got Leicester and Wolves coming up as well before Boxing Day. We've got
they're tough games. Like, he's dropped points against Everton. That was the first game of the season.
You know, I'll tell you a funny story, right? My mate Jack, I think you know Jack, don't you? He's an Arsenal fan. I phoned him after the Spurs Everton game. We were chatting on the phone. I said, geez, I can't take any more of this Mourinho. I need to get him out because I gave him the bye ball last year. He had a lot of injuries and stuff, and you know things didn't go his way. I thought the first game of the season, Everton at home, and I think Everton are pretty soft. They're the type of team you can roll over, you know, and they were very poor on that day as well. Spurs were just worse, and I thought, geez, we're in real trouble here. This is going to be a long season. I'm playing this way, style of football, and again, style of football too. When I talk about it, you don't hear too many Spurs fans complaining about it, maybe because they're winning.
Exactly.
When you play this way, this defensive style of football, you have to win. Whereas I think if you play attacking football and you pick up the odd defeat, the fans ain't on your back as much because they're seeing good football. It's when it's so bad, you always feel like you're one result away from an absolute meltdown. And if Spurs on Sunday and they really lose the Liverpool, say, and then they Palace in between that, if they really lose that, all of a sudden people be saying, get Mourinho out. That's a funny game, football.
That's what I mean on Facebook. I think Arsenal lost to Leicester, and I seen you commented on something, and then I commented on they've been all week on football. It's a very short time. We were all high over the United result because we'd never won the league since 2006.
This Everton game, right? This Everton game was one day after he's beat Fulham 3-0 in the season, and some of the football he's played that day in the first game, he's could have scored. And people say it was only Fulham, but Fulham beat Leicester there on Monday night away from home, so they aren't that bad. All right, I know they're down in the bottom 3, but they're still a Premier League team. And they went there and they won easy, and I thought, look at this here, we could be, you know, Arsenal's going to be miles ahead of us this season. But obviously after that game, I think Mourinho bought, he went and got Bale back on loan. Now, he hasn't really featured, but I think that whole signing gave the whole team a lift because somebody like Bale coming in with his experience. He signed the left back Reguilon, was a really good signing. And then obviously he's had Højbjerg's had more time to settle. He's brought on a backup striker. It just seems like every area Spurs were weakened, he strengthened. The only one you could say maybe they wanted to get Skriniar from Inter Milan. I don't think they could get the finance. But they obviously signed the lad from Swansea, Joe Rodon, and I thought against Chelsea last week he was brilliant. I know it's only one game, but I've seen him against Ireland for Wales as well. He looks like a really commanding centre half. So you think he's strengthened in all the areas that he wanted, and this is the point to go back to about the strength of the coach. You know, as in Mourinho, he can demand what he wants. Arteta needed a right back, he needed an hour centre half, he needed a creative midfielder, and he didn't get them. He only got some of the areas he needed them. So I think if Mourinho, and this is not me being biased, I think if Mourinho's in charge at Arsenal, you just get a war, or you just get a creative midfielder. You have Ozil back in the team. You have Reguilon, or you have everything you need to challenge this year. I think manager demands out of the board.
I don't think so.
No?
I think Arteta's happy with Bellerin. He got Gabriel. We have like 8 centre halves. We have 2 minutes. We can't bring them. We had to leave out like 4 first-team players, like Ozil, Socrates, Saliba, and I think there was someone else. We had to get rid of these players. They bring players on, so it's easy to sit and go, "Oh, I didn't get them." I do think he wanted our ahead of Party, but we couldn't get it. But because Party had a release clause, we got him. I would have wanted Party more because they have Ozil sitting there.
Because as you say, they're overloaded in terms of players. You've seen they've left players of the squad. They have to be able to sell players. They get players on. And this is as an Arteta's fault because some of these players have been there since Wenger and Emery as well. And I looked at some of the wages some of these players is on. No wonder they can't get rid of them. Kolasinac is on like 120 grand a week.
He was on a free. When you get a free transfer, the wages go way up. Look, Aaron Ramsey at Juventus, he's on like 250k a week. But Kolasinac was linked to a Leverkusen.
One of the highest wage balls in the Premier League. They pay big wages, and you look at someone like Willian as well. They've one of the highest wage balls in the Premier League. It's higher than Liverpool's, so it is.
That doesn't surprise me. I think Liverpool's recruitment's been the best I think we've ever seen.
But you look at Willian, right? He's come on, and I don't want to slag him too much because he's got this great record of scoring against Spurs, and I can look at him. But he's been very poor since he came on. But he's been handed a massive contract. He's 32. Do you think there's a structural problem there at Arsenal? So it makes it very difficult for a manager to come on and work under because of the way the board is.
Well, when Arteta came on, he was head coach, and then just recently he's been promoted to manager. I don't know what the difference is.
I think you're most supposed to have more say, but again, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Pochettino was head coach, and then he was
I think Edu looks after a lot of the transfers for us.
It's an absolute first because I think Pochettino was head coach for a few years, then changed the manager, and I didn't see any impact.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll find it very difficult for managers to get the players they want. I think a lot of the times it comes down to scouting and chairman decisions, when really it should be the manager's fault. And almost every single time, the manager will pay the price. Like you look at Emery as well. He wanted Zaha, he got Pepe. There's loads of things that come on it. But going to try and wrap this up anyway. Combined 11. We've talked a lot about players. I haven't done this on the show yet, so I'm really interested in getting it done. There's a big game coming up. I want to try and do this as well with our fans. But combined 11, Spurs, Arsenal. Since you're my guest, I'm going to let you work away, pick first choice, and then I'll maybe disagree if you pick someone.
What formation are we doing?
We'll leave that up to you.
I would do 4-3-3, so we'll go 4-3-3.
4-3-3. Right. Well, what I want us to do is try and pick from players that are available for the game. So if Partey's injured and if Lloris is injured, we'll just leave them out because I'm trying to think of a team out of all the players who'll play on Sunday.
Right, fair enough.
Goalkeeper, I think it's pretty straightforward now, obviously. Leno. If Lloris was fit, who would you play?
I would say, Lloris, both of them actually are really responsible for mistakes. I think we've seen a stat in Sky Sports and both of them are pretty high.
You asked me in this game in the summer when we played these in July, I would have said Leno every day of the week. This season, Lloris is having his best season. Spurs for the last 4 or 5.
What's making me think Lloris is
Leno's having his worst spell. You know what I mean? And I think as well, and this is where I will say about Leno, there's been a lot of talk around Martinez leaving. I think that's put extra pressure on Leno. But for me, it was the right decision. If Martinez wanted to go, and if he couldn't get Partey without that 25 million, then he's made the right decision.
For a backup keeper, I was like happy days. Martinez played 13 games for Arsenal, I think, and we got 20 million for him.
Leno was a better keeper, and he will get his confidence back. So Leno for you, yeah, no arguments there. Leno, right back.
I don't like Matt Doherty in a 4. Right. And I'm not confident in Bellerin. So it's a fucking toss-up.
Well, I think Doherty's second choice for the month behind Aurier. I think Aurier's having a great season.
I don't rate Aurier. You said he's came in recently.
Well, I haven't. He's against Man City and Chelsea, I think, and he's played well. No, the thing that for me is, right, the reason I can't say Bellerin, right, is because the Arsenal fans hate him. Why is there so much hatred around Bellerin? Why do you think there's so much hatred? Like, apparently he's getting Instagram
after every the way it goes on now. He's more into his fashion than his football.
Apparently he's one of the most abused players in the Premier League. Apparently his Instagram after a game he's loses. Shocking.
Yeah, scapegoat. But since his injury, he's lost his pace. And his pace was a massive reason why he was such a good player. because he got back so quickly. So one-on-one defending, you look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka, this one-on-one defending's unbelievable, so good. But will Aaron Wan-Bissaka play ahead of what do you call him, Kyle Walker or Arnold for England?
Or even Reece
I don't think he would. I don't think he would. I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you. Right, I don't like Matt Doherty.
I think Serge Aurier. I think Bellerin can't be in the team. We always hit around him.
I wouldn't put Bellerin on. I have no faith in him, and Cedric doesn't play.
We'll come back to it. Centre half. First centre half used.
I would put Gabriel on, and then I would definitely put
left centre back Gabriel. Yeah. Right centre back.
Definitely not Dyer.
Difficult because this is an area that both teams are probably weak in. They probably haven't got their first players on. I think you can see Arteta's chopped and changed a lot. I think the Spurs, you look at, they've actually got the best defensive record in the league this season. They've conceded the least amount of goals. They've only conceded 1 goal in the last 5 Premier League games. So I think it's very hard to leave somebody out. For me, Dyer's been our best centre half this season. Jack, if he's watching, like he said he's going to watch, he doesn't like Dyer. But based on this season, I think it's hard.
Is he a Spurs fan?
What's that?
Jack, is he a Spurs fan?
Jack's an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fan, no.
I
don't rate Dyer at all. Even PDM, I don't rate him.
So who would your right centre back be then out of the two teams? I
would say Alderweireld. Alderweireld.
I'll give you Alderweireld then, fair enough. Left back. This is a very tricky one. I thought about this. This is a very.
But we don't play him fucking left back. We play him left centre half on a 3.
All the positions on the pitch. This was the hardest call because you've got 2 good left backs. Both different type of players. I think defensively, probably Tierney's probably better. I think going forward, Reguilon probably gives you something that Tierney doesn't. Fast. He's got a few assists this year. It's probably he's almost like the left back that you need in the modern day game. But difficult again. I'm going to leave it up to you. Who do you think? Do you think Tierney? I'll let us agree, but I'll disagree with Tierney.
Celtic fans on.
Right, I'll tell you what, Tierney, right? Tell you what we'll do. If you give me Aurier, I'll give you Tierney. How about
that?
Right. Good. Moving on, your 3 in midfield. Who's your 3 in midfield?
I know he's only played a few games for Arsenal, but I would put Partey on.
Yeah, no argument. Partey for me, fantastic player. I actually watched them. First time I watched them was for Athletic Madrid against Liverpool, and I thought.
But you said. You see when Arsenal played Athletic Madrid in Europa League semi-final, they beat us. Diego Costa scored.
Yeah.
Partey at Oblak in that game. Holy fuck, unbelievable. But you said you don't want to put on players that don't. That's why we took Len over Lloris. So I put Højbjerg on. I think he's been a brilliant signing. Partey as well. I watched them for Athletic Madrid against Liverpool, and you're talking about one of the best teams, and if not the best team around them at Liverpool. He's brilliant in that game. Like really, really good on the ball. You know, he's a machine. Like I didn't realize how good he was going forward.
Arsenal can get him going. It's serious player there. And for me, if he was fit, I would have him on the combined 11. But he's not going to be fit. You would go Højbjerg.
Højbjerg,
I think for me, he's actually been, if you look at the stats, he's been the best defensive midfielder in the league this season. He's been brilliant. He's the most tackles, most interceptions, most passes as well. Do you know what? See, when he signed, I thought it was a straight. I thought, decent backup, but I never really thought he'd be a starter. And when I watched the game against Man City, I thought he was everything that Man City need. Somebody can win the ball back, break up a play. He's a Mourinho player. The player beats him. He'll do like a crafty free kick, not a yellow card tackle. He'll make sure he just breaks the play up without risking a yellow card. He's really, really good.
He's a Mourinho player.
Yep. So he's on there. And I think if you have him on, you can probably have 2 more sort of players that can attack on there because you've got that balance. I actually done this myself, and Partey was the only Arsenal player I would have on midfield. If you look at it.
Harry Winks is
on
distribution.
I think Ndombele would be on.
I can't let you overload me midfield. Fuck that.
You know what we'll do? We'll make it a wee bit different. We'll say Partey as fit. We'll bring Partey in. They make it a bit more balanced. We'll bring Ndombele, Partey. There is a chance Partey could be fit as well. So we'll end on Ndombele and Partey in midfield.
The front three.
Front three is easy enough, isn't it?
Bamiyang on the left, Kane off front, Son on the right.
See, this is where I would differ. This is my formation with differ. I would play a 4-3-1-2. I play Kane and behind Aubameyang and Son up front. I play
Kane. Either way, you're picking them 3 players.
What I was trying to do was try to focus it on this season, and you can probably get that team's probably the best team in form. Maybe Aubameyang's in form, but I think where you struggle, they put somebody else on, is no one else is really in form. Like Spurs haven't really got it. Like Bale's been on the right, Bergwijn's been on the right, Lucas Moura's been on the right. They haven't really got that player. And for Arsenal, like if you're picking a player, it's going to be Aubameyang. So that will be my combined 11. So we're going to go Leno, Aurier. Probably talk about Bellerin. He probably scored on Sunday. So Leno, Aurier, Alderweireld, Gabriel. Yeah.
What about Saka in midfield?
Difficult because I think if they put Saka and you pick Son or
it's not his best position. Like, but what do you think of Saka?
Big fan of Saka, but they get pick Son out. So midfield we'll go Højbjerg sitting. We end on Belly and Party in front. That's some midfield, and then front three of Aubameyang, Kane, Son. Fantastic team that. Now, if you look at that, Spurs have more players on there. So do you think probably do possess the better players of the two teams?
Easy answer. I can't sit and try back up. Let's put Mustafi in centre half. Let's put Luiz in centre half. Do you know what I mean?
So anyway, after everything we've all said, the most important thing is who's going to win on Sunday. What's your prediction for Sunday?
Have I got a draw 1-1? I think both teams will be happy with.
Happy with a point. Arsenal definitely will. You think Mourinho will? I think at home he has to win this game. I think Chelsea looked at the three games: Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. People asked me before, what do you think the game you would have got the most points out of? The most likely, I said Man City at home because I knew we would play in these Spurs' hands, and we've had some good success against them over the last few years. Thought Chelsea would have been the hardest, and I thought Arsenal was going to be a 50-50 game. It's hard to call, but I think Spurs need to try and win this game. I think if they draw, it's turned an okay. It's an okay spell of 5 points out of 9. If you won,
but you should top with Chelsea. I think Chelsea might drop points against Leeds.
Really? I think he won this game first, and I think Mourinho will have that in his mind. I think he's going to have to be a bit more attacking. Might play in the Arsenal's hands, but for me, we have to try and win this.
If you be more attacking, that's going to suit us.
I think, and this is the first on the show, I'm going to top Spurs. They won 2-1. I think we'll just have that wee bit extra with the players we have in form, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And I wouldn't be shocked if it went the other way. Do you think Spurs will get the job done? And I think the Mourinho factor comes into it too. I think
that's a scary record. Like,
I think Arsenal score first. It's a different game. But if Spurs score first, I think we need
to be unpredictable. Like Wolves against us. Wolves have been playing that 5-3 at the back since they've been in the Premier League. And they played 4 at the back against us, and it completely caught us off guard.
No, I'm sure both managers would work on something. But the big thing for Arsenal is trying to stop Kane. I think if you stop Kane, you can stop Spurs to a certain extent because everything runs through him. But if Partey's not playing, and you're asking Xhaka to do that job, I think
it's just for us where's the goal's going to come from.
But that wrapping up, so you think 1-1 draw? 1-1 draw, play it safe. You take a point, you'd be happy with a point?
No. Because you should get 3 points against Spurs, but I do think I'll be a 1-1 draw.
What is it? I think it was.
These are top of the league, but we're not like if we were playing Liverpool, I'd go. We're not going to win it on field in the league.
We're top of the table, but this isn't. You're playing the great, Barcelona teams. This is
exactly
a very strange season. And if Everton can beat Spurs, I'm sure Arsenal fans will be feeling confident. So hey, I'm going to move on anyway. Talk about Manchester United's result against PSG. So, Man United, Stephen, against PSG, where did it go wrong for them? For a long time in the game, they seem to be in control of it. So, where do you think it all went wrong?
First 15, 20 minutes, it looked like PSG was going to wait before them. But since the Fred, I won't even call it a head, but since that happened, United dominated the game until PSG got a second. The Cavani chip and the Martial miss could have been 3-1 United. They would have been 3.
Game as a whole, right? For me, it was really, really entertaining. You know what I mean? You look at
it was a good game.
It was a game of basketball, but it was like two teams that couldn't really defend and just attack. Which is why I think both teams have no chance in this competition, to be honest, because you can't win a Champions League. PSG at times looked inferior to United, and United's not even the best team in England. You know what I mean? They're maybe third, fourth, fifth. You could make a case, right? So for PSG, there was a lot there that'll be scaring them. You think about they get the final last year. I don't think they'll get the final if they play Liverpool or Chelsea. You know what I mean? But for me, the game was there for United. They won. Talk about chances, right? And for me, Martial misses that big chance. Cavani's unlucky hitting the bar. Martial misses that big chance. And you look at Martial this season as well. You think he's good enough to be United's main man up front, to be a number 9, like, is he that type of player that's going to score you enough goals?
Nah. You see, when they were linked with Sancho and the transfer window, I don't get it. I don't understand why United didn't go for Harry Kane.
Yep. I think I
would definitely fear United more with Harry Kane, Rashford, Martial, Bruno than Rashford, Martial, Sancho, Bruno. Harry Kane would terrify me in the United.
You look at Harry Kane playing in England, it's Rashford one side instead on the other side, and now you've got other players there, Regulation stuff. But he can almost play that false 9 role, and it might free Rashford up and Martial up or somebody else. And hey, Kane's going to be hard to get, we know that. I think Roy Keane was saying about it in Sky last year. Not easy to get, but at least try. Put a ball.
Try. United just, they bully teams in England to get their players. They took Berbatov off Hughes, took Van Persie off us. You see players that stood out in the Premier League, United went and got them. And Harry Kane's been consistent since 2014, 15.
You look at Lukaku now as well, leaving and looking at Inter Milan. It looks it's a really, really big mistake letting him go, wasn't it?
It's hindsight. Like, he wasn't great at United, and United fans, it was
an option.
I don't know. I don't even think United fans would want them on, would they?
I spoke about Cavani the other day in the show, Isaac. And he looks like he's going to have a great impact. He's very unlucky with that chance. It was a great effort.
The chip.
I think he can see he's not going to be the type of player that can play a lot of games because of his age. He's not hissy. He's not really fast. You're looking at an impact player, and he's not a bad impact player. But they're going to be resigned to playing Martial up front, and for me, he's not that type of player, and that's going to be the big issue moving forward for United. But the question I want to ask you, and I was chatting about it Zach the other day, and Zach was pretty much behind Ollie, and I was saying sometimes the criticism can be unfair. You look at that league table since Arteta come on, he's sitting third with 13 more points than Arsenal, which played a game less. And you look at their overall form in 2020, it's not that bad. It's up there, like they're sitting behind Liverpool, Man City. But a big game against PSG, that ain't make a massive mistake leaving Fred on the pitch.
Maybe Arsenal watched the match and Profess, you need to take Fred off. He's diving on the challenge. In the second half, he done all right. He was on his feet, but he did get the ball, but he should have been sent off before it.
That's the player that always goes on the tackles. He's not people like that.
But to be fair, Fred when it came to United he was shite, and I think he's one of their best midfielders.
He's improved a lot.
He's completely turned it around, and he's been so good for them. But
when I looked at that situation, right, and I think back to the Amazon documentary, and renewed it, and he was talking about Spurs played Man City last year, and he was talking about players in yellow cards, and Spurs target them players to try and get them sent off basically. And Zinchenko gets sent off. He had a yellow card in the first half. Mourinho talked about him at half time. He gets sent off in the second half. I think if Mourinho's in charge at United there, Fred's off at half time. I think if Ancelotti's in charge, he's off at half time. I think any manager with experience club is off at half time. Or he's at least off at some stage in the second half. He gets sent off in the 70th minute. So they knew he was going to play the full game. He was never coming off.
Yeah. Unless they were losing the game, they would have switched them for Pogba.
And I look at it, and even at half time, my first thought was, and I only coach at amateur level, there's a chance Fred could get sent off here, and that's me. I'm thinking, Ollie must have seen that. There's no way he looked at that and didn't see it. He's obviously trusted the player, said to him, look, you know you're on a yellow card, don't be tackling. But I think
he did say in his interview, they talked about at half time as well, just stay on your feet.
Yeah, well there you go. So
but he did get the ball. It wasn't a second yellow, but I think the ref seen the stamp and that it should have went. Do you think the headbutt was a red card?
By the letter of the law, it is a red card. If you look at Pepe as well, gets sent off, the same thing. But for me, there's loads of the players are making a meat of it.
But you see if Alioski and as a Paredes, you see if they don't go down rolling, do you think it goes that far?
Well, do you know what I think happened here? I think the referee got lost in the situation. He went over to the screen and looked once, I think.
He looked once.
He looked once and came straight back across. I think if he looks at it longer, he sends him off. I think at half time he's looked at it more and he's realized he's made a mistake.
Yeah, and then as soon as Fred commits the challenge, I'm sending him off, and I took him.
Whether he thinks it's the red card or not, by the letter of the law, he should have sent him off. And no doubt somebody said to him, "Hey, you've made a mistake there." At the end of the day, he made a mistake, by the letter of the law, he's off. And I think at any given point in that game, I think if it's even any foul at all, he's off. He's going to try and right the wrong. He's seen it a lot for VAR in the Premier League, where say if sometimes a team should have a penalty in the first half, the referee, and they do this at halftime, they look back at the first half, they analyze the performance.
I know.
Sometimes they think, "Oh, I owe them one. I got that wrong. I owe them one." I often see a soft penalty give in the second half. It's probably not a penalty. So this is what I think happened. I think if he looks at it longer, like I think it was it Taylor sent Pepe off against Leeds. I think if he I think it might have been your man Taylor, wasn't it? I think if he looks at it, if the referee looks at it longer, I think if he looks at it longer, he sends him off. I think he's just trying to rectify the mistake he made in the first half. But at the end of the day, it was still down to Ollie to leave him on the pitch. And at the end of the day, I think he's made a massive, massive error in leaving him on. And he's cost United that game, because even if they lose it, even if it's 2-1, they've got a big chance of getting back into the game. Like as I was saying, like even if it's 2-1, they still got a big chance of getting back into the game if they've got 11 men. And I think that was a mistake they made. They leave them on the pitch. 2-1 down, 10 men, hardly change the game then.
But it was almost straight after, like, wasn't it? It was.
I'm sure PSG could have scored 4 then.
You see Neymar just dandering about the place nearly the whole match, but then like all the headlines were all about him. It was the footwork for the third goal. It was ridiculously good, like, and it was a lovely goal. But see him and Messi in the Champions League. You see the walking back and all.
No.
Do you think Klopp would be happy with it? I don't think so.
See if you look at this group now, it's very, 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 very tight. There's 3 teams there now. All the way to qualifying. Now United have to go to Leipzig in the last game now on Tuesday and get at least a draw to qualify. Do you think they'll get it?
I've watched RB Leipzig once this season, and it was the 5-0. So of course I'm going to say they can. I don't watch Bundesliga. Like RB Leipzig look a half decent team, but they got absolutely trunched. Upamecano was so much hype about him, right? And he kept picking up the ball and just running with it, dribbling past boys. But then he was walking back, and you just leave your defence completely isolated.
Honestly, for 75 minutes in that game, that's very, very tight. And Leipzig a lot of the ball, and like United scored 4 goals in the last 15 minutes.
I don't know why, but it's the only time I've watched Leipzig, so of course I'm going to see United can get a point. Like
in the last 15 minutes, there's nothing you never played football before.
They beat PSG away, like so.
Help beat PSG.
You're mad to think that United can't get a draw against RB Leipzig.
There's no doubt they can. I'm saying, do you think they will? Draw?
I think they will. I think United go through. Yeah, I think they beat them because RB Leipzig need to get a 1. That's suits United. You know we were talking about Spurs attacking Arsenal. They might fall in Arsenal's hands. RB Leipzig need the 1. It's going to suit United's best football's counter attacking.
You think PSG and Man United qualify?
PSG United qualify.
That'd be interesting because all the other big teams have qualified already. So Chelsea's 3, City's 3, Liverpool's 3. Then if you look at Europa League, Arsenal, Spurs, Leicester's all 3. Rangers, hey, I swear to God,
here's a question for you because we're both in the Europa League. What do you think about the 3rd place coming on the Europa League? Do you like it?
Nah, didn't really happen to be honest.
I think it undermines the Europa League.
The last few years they've been coming in and winning it, like so.
Exactly for failing this. I mean, Real Madrid's going to come on and win the Europa League. You know what I mean?
You know what? That would be really, really something if they come on the Europa League. You know, I think the Europa League's probably got down their hands and knees praying because that would really give the competition a lift that they're in it.
But that's why UEFA do it because
see if they're in it. See if they are in it, Stephen. There's a reason they're not. They're not good enough. They come in their group's not that good. It's not strong at all. So
they got beat by Shakhtar twice.
That guy wouldn't beat fearing Madrid at all. So you think United's going to qualify? All them other big teams is qualified. I'm going to move on. Last point we're going to talk about is Chelsea. I swear to God, I don't mean to be the sort of messiah and tapping all this stuff, but I did say at the start of this podcast I've been doing, Chelsea's going to have a good season.
Think so?
Unbeaten. They're now unbeaten in 15 games. There's one player, and I cannot not understand this about fans or sort of pundits. Giroud, what a player do you have in your squad? Like this man has been cast off for most teams. You look at the Champs in France; he's never ever been out of the front squad. He always back.
And we were talking about this during the week, and I was saying that I wanted, like I said, to go keep him because he's a plan B. He's probably the best plan B in the world. It really is. Like,
you know the way big strikers can be sort of, they're just good in the air. No, this boy's good with his feet too. He can link up play. Some of the goals.
His first touch is ridiculous.
Think back to that Wilshere goal against Norwich, like a goal of the season. Giroud was unstoppable on the goal. Do you know what I mean? Think about the Scorpion kick that he scored. Man, this is a talented player, and he's like 34 now.
It's his wee first. You see his wee flicks in the front post now too. His first touch is ridiculous. But do you think Lampard will start him against Leeds?
I think he has to start. 4 goals away.
I think he has to. But do you think Lampard will? He won them the game 2 weeks ago in the Champions League, and then he gets 4 goals. He didn't start them. He didn't start them last weekend when they won them the game.
Spurs, we have about 10 months to go, and I kept saying to my dad, we were watching the game. I said that he could be the difference between a draw here.
I mean, Tammy Abraham's probably good.
See the way he reached.
Tammy Abraham,
I've seen Giroud tailor-made for this game, and Lampard. That was the thing that, again, naive. I think a proper manager gets Giroud on every half an hour to go. I mean, he hardly had a chance.
Think about Lampard's playing career. Did Chelsea ever have a target man? Did they ever have that? They never really did. Drogba wasn't a target man. Drogba was a complete striker. Like. So I think that plays in his mind a wee bit. Like.
I think he should have been on, but for me, Giroud. You obviously being an Arsenal fan, you had years of Giroud, but he was almost as well. Same at Arsenal, he was never really a fan's favourite. He was always, we need somebody better.
It was a scapegoat. And I don't understand.
It's never going to be a 25-goal season, man. That's not what anybody's saying. Mm-hmm. But his impact off a bench or anything. I mean, I think for me, he walks on the Arsenal team the month. Yeah, he walks on. Do you know what I mean? Not that Lacazette. So.
I prefer him over Lacazette. And there's a reason Giroud's been playing for France for how many years, and Lacazette can't get near the team. There's a reason for that, like. But Arsenal fans that for some reason love Lacazette. I don't. I find Lacazette's crap, like.
So moving on, wrapping this up here now with Chelsea. I've actually put it on my sheet here, dark horses, question mark. I think they're a really, really good chance they do something.
They're not dark horses. Dark horses is your dark horses. Dark horses is like Leicester. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I don't think anyone's set up. I mean, everyone's saying Liverpool and then City and then maybe Spurs. Chelsea sort of been sitting. They're not.
No one ever went Liverpool, City, Spurs. No, not even. You made that up.
You know what I mean? People have been sort of you could say Thursday some sort of thing season. But I think Chelsea's better suited. I think if any team that's going to beat Liverpool this year, the league, it's going to be Chelsea.
I think City's going to win it. I would say Liverpool would win it if they had their best 11. But do we know how long?
You know why I think Man City can't win it? You know why I think Man City can't win it? They've been too predictable, and they give no plan B. And teams have worked them out now, and too many games, especially against the better teams, they're getting found out.
Right.
Interesting. They could come back. Pep's probably
City's favourites to win the league, then Liverpool, then Chelsea, then Spurs. Usually Chelsea are both 11-2, and then United 20-1. So the top 4, that just speaks for itself. We said that at the start, like that was going to be the top 4.
Right off Chelsea at your peril. Hey, I hope Chelsea don't win it because I'm not a Chelsea fan.
Guess what odds are? 151.
But anyway, I think in terms of that, I don't think you can write Chelsea off. I think they're going to do. No team in Europe will want to play them in Champions League. I guarantee now, no team will want to play them. The players they have, they can beat anybody.
We play them soon enough, so we do. I think we play them
Boxing Day because we
in 3 match fixtures.
Because we're all going to watch it on Boxing Day. They're playing Arsenal away.
It's on Boxing Day.
Boxing Day 5:30.
Where are you going to watch it?
Treehouse, I think. Treehouse, no, big shot time, unfortunately. So thank God, because I'm having a drink tonight because there's lockdowns over in the south and we have an hour week to go in the north. But
you live about 5 meters away from me. Yeah, I'm not laugh.
But I'm actually going to the Treehouse on Sunday to watch the Spurs Arsenal game, so looking forward to it.
Is the Treehouse open, aye?
Treehouse open, aye.
I might come down for that. Do you have to book a table?
I booked a table, aye. You just book a table.
I'll come down for that. Is there an invitation there?
Work away, aye. No, can come down, then we can share a beer, but sure.
Aye, sweet. Sounds good.
So, hey, I really enjoyed the show. A lot of analysis in there. I think with Zach and show there's a bit more. I think he made a bit more laughter involved because he was making all these predictions about United winning the league and stuff, which was good. So it's good to have you on and really good on-depth analysis. So last word, I'm going to take a last word about Sunday's game. Where's it going to be won and lost on Sunday, Spurs Arsenal?
Oh, Arteta's lineup. He will play the 5 at the back, but I would like to see him mix it, like do something different. Yep. I would actually like to see 4-4-2.
I'll be shocked if it's something different. I think he'll go East Red.
He won't. He definitely won't. But I would just like to see it because it will make the Spurs think their tactics more. But I think it won't be many goals.
You know what?
I don't see it.
It is 3 points. But if you look at it, I think this is massive for both teams' seasons. I think if Spurs won this, they've come through them 3 games of Chelsea, Spurs,
City, Arsenal,
7 points.
With 7.
And they'll start to believe that they could do something this year. I think if Arsenal won, they'll believe they can turn their season around and they can go on a run. So I think this is massive for both teams. I think there's a good chance, as you said, it could be a draw because both teams don't want to lose. I think it's more a game Arsenal have to win. I think a draw won't buy Arteta many favours. I think if they draw, it's going to be the guy we got to draw. But next week, if he's lose to Burnley or draw to Burnley, it'll be back. You know what I mean? So I think it's a game Arteta needs to win. I think for Spurs, if they have any aspirations of challenging, they have to win this game as well. So I think it's going to make it a lot more sort of tense as well. It's going to be really tactical, and I'm really looking forward to it as well. But so hopefully, a few beer to calm my nerves down on Sunday.
That's right. I'll watch it. Yeah.
Hey, Stephen, thanks for coming on. You've been absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed the show. And I'll see you on Sunday, hopefully.
Right, Pat. Good luck.
Good man. Hey, thank you.
See you out there.